let's timestamp this. Today is March 26th, 2024. It's Tuesday. Tommy, raising prices. The raising price, what is the true cost when you raise prices? Okay. I mean, we all, when you're in business, most of the time it's for profit. There are nonprofits, but when you're working for profit, one of the ways that people think about making more money is to raise prices, but that does come with a cost. Sometimes it's a good
Right.
idea, sometimes it's a bad idea. Um, but this was something that you put on the dock. So what did you want to talk about in terms of raising
Well, yeah,
prices?
I mean it's where we're at today. I mean we're all, if we're not, we should be, but everyone's really hyper focused on, you know, prices being raised, where you're spending money, how you save money. And it's a good lesson, you know. 2 weeks ago, I think, or a week ago, when I wrote this on the docket, I got two or three emails or notifications in the mail, one from Ehrlich's Pest Control, one from my storage unit, one from Panera Unlimited Sip Club. So the three times in a week, these companies are just raising their prices, just raising their prices, not even like describing really what the raise was all about. Now,
Mm.
now it's warranted in some companies, you know, energy costs and all this. My storage unit, for example, I mean, since I've been with them, they've doubled their price. Now, storage unit's built, it's not climate controlled. I don't see their costs going up significantly to raise their prices. So what's happening is it's making us rethink if we need things, rethink if I can do it. I'm going to get out of my storage unit, and I, rather than pay for storage unit, I'm going to build one in the back, and I can finance a huge storage unit for half the price that I'm paying monthly over at the storage unit. So I love my storage unit, but guess what? They've raised their price to the point where it doesn't make sense. Now they don't care about me. They don't care, but they're going to lose vacancy for a couple months. They'll lose money. And but what's happening down the road when you start gouging people, you know, restaurants, or poor restaurants, but not only or gouging people, they may lose their customers for life.
Yeah.
You know, like Ehrlich's Pest Control, it's kind of a nice to have service, but I like it. You know, we've had some pest issues here across the year, but they've raised their prices over and over. And I know there's, you know, gas and prices involved and all that, but it's making me rethink, do I need the service? I can do it. So all these price increases, I'm saying companies beware, because there will be downstream implications to it, whether or not customers come back.
Mhm.
And there's nothing more important than keeping your customer happy
Yeah.
and having a lifelong customer rather than losing them. So that's where I'm a dude. Another example, my wife says, you have a pediddle. One of your light bulbs, they're out on your on my cars. I drive a Subaru Forester. She's like, should I call the mechanic to put the light bulb in? I'm like, no, I'm going to do it myself. I'm not going to pay $90 to put a light bulb in. And some are a little bit more difficult than others. But guess what? I'll put a YouTube video on. I'll figure out. I'll do it myself, and I'll save myself $100. This is what's coming out of this inflation, these price hikes, these exercises are coming out where we're becoming more self-sufficient. I'm showing my kids that we can do it. You can do it yourself, you know. Now, sometimes it's worth paying, you know, it's worth paying that $300 if it's a good price to use your time in other areas. So what I'm saying is you got to kind of figure out the pros and cons and decide, am I getting gouged? It's like a game. It's really a game nowadays. It is, you know, and we're playing it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. There's an opportunity cost of what does it cost to do it yourself versus pay. I wonder if anyone has studied the correlation between YouTube
Oh, yeah.
is a competitor to people with trades, right?
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you just said, I went on YouTube and I figured it out. I mean, I talked
Right.
to a friend of mine who needed something done to his roof. and he got a quote for like $55,000 or something like that. He went on YouTube, did the whole thing
Love it.
himself for like 4 grand.
Yeah, you're hearing more of that,
Yeah.
and I love that. Yeah,
Yeah. And I always wanted to run a business that if I raise the prices, obviously if you raise your prices too much, I don't care what business you're in, people are going to be like, go F yourself. But
right,
I always wanted to run a business that where when we raise the price that people will be like, you know what? I love your product so much, still worth it type of thing.
right, right,
And and you and I discuss raising prices because we in Merge Analytics in our
right.
the company that Tom and I run, we keep our pricing pretty low and
We've
have
never, our audience, we've never, ever, ever, ever raised our prices.
yeah. And so, but I'm not saying,
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to play that clip back when we raise prices. There will be a point when we
Hopefully we
raise
don't.
prices.
Maybe we
Well,
never do.
there
Yeah.
will, but what do you give your customers that they don't have today to justify
You have to. Yeah. Yeah.
the price, rise? And like,
Right.
we have a
I mean,
new
some of these service fees that are just kind of implemented, or these line items saying convenience fee. Fucking, what's a convenience fee? And I'm seeing it all over now. Now, when you look up the chain and you're seeing these CEOs making $500,000, $1 million a year, don't you think they could put a little money back into the company to save the cost? Like that's the company I want to do business with. That's the company I'm going to stay with.
Elon
And
Musk
yeah,
gets paid something like $1 a year or something like that. Steve Jobs had the same type
yeah,
of deal. I mean, you have those guys in there, and they get paid stock,
right.
and
Oh,
and,
you're
and you know
absolutely,
what?
yeah,
Those guys deserve to make a lot of money. If they're making
sure.
money,
Yeah,
if they're making great products and they're making their shareholders rich and they're
right.
making their customers happy, a good CEO should make a lot of money. But I hear what you're saying.
Well, no, your attendants are gonna go up and your eyes are gonna get bigger when you start seeing customers go away. And then you can easily connect the dots. Why? And if you're just again gouging for no good reason, back to what you said, like I get a document in the mail or I get an email saying, okay, your new price is gonna be 30% more next month. Okay, why? Like, what value am I getting? Like, what's happening? Explain to me that energy costs are raising, or gas, or something like justify the hike. Don't just don't ball it up in inflation. Don't say it's inflation. That doesn't mean a whole lot either. So yeah,
Well, I mean, inflation is real.
it is real. No, I get it's real. Yeah,
We just talked about before where now if like you want a nice dinner,
yeah,
like let's
yeah.
say you're having a dinner party for 6 people, 6 adults.
Right.
I was making the argument today, if you're going to make a nice dinner, or whether you cook it yourself. I mean, some people love cooking and love putting in the time, and that's there's something to that, and it's healthier and
Right.
all that,
Less salt. Yeah.
less salt and whatever. But if you're going merely for time and money, catering is now like I use the example of a baked ziti and a platter of meatballs. I spent $30. I got a salad. It came with a salad.
Nice. It's a good
It
deal.
fed it
Yeah. Yeah.
it $30.
Yeah.
And we didn't finish it. We could probably eat it two more, it's for my kids, probably two more meals. If I would
So
have cooked
it fed
that
your whole
same,
family.
well, not my wife, but
Okay.
my 2 kids and me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a
Right.
big
So three.
platter.
Yeah. That's
But
good. That's a great deal.
it is
Yeah.
a great deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I were to go to the store, buy the meat,
Mhm.
buy sauce, I get Rayo's, which is like $13 a jar.
Yeah.
If I got 2 jars,
Get
I
some
got
Del
some chopped
Grosso's.
meat,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
cheese, ricotta cheese, and mozzarella cheese, and the pasta is always inexpensive. I
Right.
guarantee it's more than $30.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the point. You're sensitive to the situation. So you balanced it out, and that's a great deal. I mean, if you can feed your kids and yourself for 10 or under, that's great nowadays. $10 or less, and have food left over. But on the flip side, like, I stopped getting subs out because I'm getting a sub. I'm getting a turkey. My kids eat turkey cheese and mustard for what?
Right.
For $12? No,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
gonna make it.
Right.
I'm making it at home,
You know
guys.
how to make sense.
But that's the point. Like, we're hyper sensitive and focused on what makes sense and what doesn't, which is good because we're not a buyer that just goes out and spends because when you
Well,
do that, you start getting taken advantage of.
well,
Or you
we
Yeah.
mentioned resources like YouTube. I think the consumer today, like we talk about this too, how much money is made in our economy for just people not knowing,
No,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
your car is making a noise, $1,000. Meanwhile, they get on the lift and they're like, me, and it's fixed, right?
right.
Software development. I mean, we've been around this our whole lives. One little
Yep,
change, and be like, well, it's important. $1,000
right.
bucks. Okay,
Yep,
sounds like a good deal. Our last guy charges 5,000.
yeah,
But like so much money is made for people not knowing. And I think
right.
that's changing
Yeah,
because, or has changed because of YouTube, because of Chat GPT,
yeah,
because of artificial, like that's what artificial intelligence is the great, we're like, oh my God, oh my God. But you know what? Artificial intelligence is doing things like that. And we would have had to pay people thousands and thousands and thousands
right,
of dollars to do what it does in a few minutes. Now it is scary, and that actually plays in nice
right.
to what we're going to talk about.